Learning how to knit ribbing is one of the most useful stitch combinations you can add as a new knitter to your growing stitch library. Ribbing combines knit and purl stitches to create a super stretchy fabric. It's perfect for cuffs, hat brims, and hems. There's a good chance you've got a few examples of ribbing in your closet right now. Hi, I'm Hannah from knitting.com, and I'll show you how to knit two of the most common ribbing stitch patterns, 1x1 ribbing and 2x2 ribbing. We'll also look at some examples to see the similarities and differences between these very similar stitch patterns. If you're ready to go, let's get started. To start, we have 1x1 ribbing, which is this one. So you can see as I stretch it apart, you've got columns of knit and purl stitches. So it's 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit. So it's 1x1 ribbing, that's what that means. You can see it lies flat and it doesn't have quite the extreme pull in that 2x2 ribbing does. So this is 2x2, and what that means, you can see here once I pull it apart, is you've got 2 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, 2 purl, 2 knit, all the way around. So again, it's the same number of stitches that you cast on for both, on the same needles, but you get a very different amount of stretch. Next, we'll get into how to knit both. Okay. So we're all set up to do 1x1 ribbing, and in this case I've already cast on my stitches. I've cast on 8 with a long tail cast on. You can do any cast on you'd like. I just prefer a long tail, so we start with that one. And as the name suggests, it is 1x1, so it's every other stitch is a different one, and it's just knitting and purling. So I'm going to start with a knit stitch, which is inserting from front to back. Wrap your yarn up and over, pull it through, drop it off. So that's a knit stitch, and the next stitch is a purl one, so we're going to bring it to the front, insert downward, wrap your yarn up and over, and pull it up and out off the needle. So that's a purl. So we're just going to do another knit. We're alternating knitting and purling. The next stitch will be a purl, next stitch is a knit, followed by a purl. This is good practice for keeping track of which stitch you're on. It's going to be pretty obvious. So it's going to knit, and then the last one is a purl. And we're going to turn our work. So now that we've finished our row, we're going to turn and work one more, and then you'll start to see the ribbing pattern really come out. It's a good practice for spotting mistakes in your project. So we're going to knit that first one. And also practicing learning how to tell the difference between a knit and a purl. So a purl has a bump at the base of the stitch, just like this one. So we're going to purl that one. And a knit is a V. So you can see here, there's a V. We're going to knit into that one. So I'm going to keep alternating knitting and purling until you've worked the amount of fabric that you need for your project. And one more knit. And then one last purl, the very last stitch. You can start to see that ribbing coming out. And that is how to work 1x1 ribbing. To do 2x2 ribbing, super simple. You're just doing knitting and purling. And as the name says, you'll knit 2 stitches. So knit them, do it normally. So knit 1, insert again from the front to the back, wrap it up and over, pull it through. It's our second knit stitch. So that's 2 knit stitches, and now we're going to do a purl. So we're going to bring our yarn to the front. We're going to insert our needle down to the front of the stitch, wrap it up and over, counterclockwise, and then pull it through. So that's 1 purl stitch. And we're going to do another purl stitch. That's our second purl, wrap it up and over, pull it through. And we've done 2 knit stitches and 2 purl stitches. And do 2 more knits and 2 more purls, and that's basically how you would do 2x2 ribbing. And then I'll show you the second row, and you'll start to see the pattern emerge. So again, these last 2, you're going to do a purl and 1 more purl. All right, so that's 1 row, starting with 2 knits, and then you're going to flip your needle. And again, you'll see those are knits, so you're just going to knit those as well. And knit 1, knit 2, and then we're going to purl 1 and purl 2 and knit 2 and purl 2. And remember, this ribbing is super elastic, so it might seem a little loose right now, but as you make more rows, it'll get tighter and more elasticated over time. So it might seem loose now, but keep on knitting and you'll start to see that elastic nature of the stitch come out. And that's how to do 2x2 ribbing. Now that you know all the basics of knit ribbing, you'll be able to pick the right rib stitch for your next project so it fits perfectly. If you found this tutorial helpful, be sure to click the thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Subscribe to knitting.com if you'd like to stay in the loop and check out our other social media channels. Until next time, happy knitting!